thank you guys for being here, all of you.
Josh, I'm gonna go ahead and start it because the scouts are getting ready to walk up. Is it ready?
Welcome to the 18th Annual Campbell County Good Scout Award Dinner. Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me? We're trying to get this straightened out. All right. Let's see. I think that might be a little bit better. Everybody hear me in the back? Yeah? We're good? Good then. Thank you. My name is Brian Yance, and I'm one of the table hosts. And tonight I have the distinct honor of serving as your host this evening for the festivities and the program. Thank you, each and every one of you, for joining us here tonight. I also would like to welcome those who join us by way of the Volunteer Times Facebook page this evening. At this time, I would like to recognize this year's recipient of the Good Scout Award, Ms. Kelly Jo Wright. Boy Scout District sincerely appreciates Kelly Jo's participation in this event tonight. Thank you. We're also excited to recognize Mr. Donnie, is that Poston? Does anybody know this guy? Is that right? Excited to recognize Donnie as the Elbert K. Fretwell Outstanding Educator Award recipient. Both of these Campbell Countyans have been cornerstones of our community for many, many years. The extra many was for you, Donnie. Kelly Jo many, you many. I got you. Now I would like to introduce those participating in the program and our special guests for tonight. Please hold your applause until the end. With us tonight are State Senator Ken Yeager, State Representative Dennis Powers, Chancellor Elizabeth Asbury, General Sessions Judge Bill Jones. Are you out there? There you are. Yes, sir. Campbell County Mayor Jack Lynch. Campbell County Sheriff Wayne Barton. There you are, Sheriff. Miss Tammy Merritt from Congressman Fleischman's office. Tammy. John Sheridan, past president, Great Smoky Mountain Council. Philip Graves, Mount Cammimore District Commissioner. Also among us are previous Good Scout Award recipients. I know I saw this gentleman a few minutes ago, Mr. Clarence Lowe. Where are you, Clarence? There you are. Mr. Lanston Hill. Lieutenant Colonel Knut Salveson. There you go. Yes, sir. And Dr. James Ferris. Hey, Doc. There you go. Yes, sir. Dr. Ferris is also the senior scout present tonight. So please join me in a warm round of applause for our senior. We also would like to take a moment to remember a couple of scout supporters who we lost over the last year. And they would be First Sergeant Bob Andreas and Mr. John Faulkner. There are also a few others I wish to recognize at this time. Would the family and friends of Kelly Jo Wright please stand and be recognized? Family and friends of Kelly Jo. Poston, please stand to be recognized, which is probably everyone in the room. In addition to the aforementioned, we have several county commissioners and other county officials and school board members present tonight. Would all attendees who serve our local governments please rise so we may recognize you. We are honored all of you have joined us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, believe me, this level of commitment from elected officials is not the norm. Our county officials and elected officials go above and beyond in the support of Scouting. We'd like to once again thank you all for that. This is the kind of support that we can all be proud of. Thank you all for coming. Lastly, I would like to recognize all of the Eagle Scouts in attendance today. So if you're an Eagle Scout, please stand and be recognized. Get our program underway, Scouts BSA Troop 310 and Pack 108, chartered by the East La Follette Baptist Church, and Cub Scout Pack 134, sponsored by the La Follette Methodist Church, will conduct our opening ceremony. All of our young Scouts will participate in the Parade of Scouts. Chris Thacker is the Troop 310 Scoutmaster. Cody Phillips is Pack 108 Cubmaster. And Bethany Benjamin is the Pack 134 Cubmaster. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the presentation of the colors and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Will the audience please join me in the pledge of allegiance? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Chicago, 3, 4.
Now that was an outstanding display of scouting at its best. Gabe Gibson is color guard commander this evening. Other members of Troop 310 and PAX 108 and 134 served as color bearers. All the scouts participated in the parade of scouting as guards. Thank you, scouts. That was a great job. And now presenting our invocation this evening is Cub Scout Grayson Huffman from PAC 134.
Ladies and gentlemen, a scout is reverent. Please bow your heads. Thank you for bringing together the scouters, sponsors, volunteers, and the scouts this evening. These are the ones who do their duty to unite our country by promoting the scouting movement. They help other people at all times to learn how powerful the scout law and ideals are. Gathered here are those that keep the program physically strong by their dedication. They keep the values we cherish mentally awake within our community with their commitment. And these are the ones who hold our morals straight in the direction of success with their leadership. For all of us, for what they do, for what they will continue to do, we thank you. We also pray for the men and the women of our armed services serving our great country. Please bless this gathering and continue to guide our lives in our scouting movement. Amen.
Thank you, Grayson. Please be seated. Thank you, Grayson, and thank you, our event scouts. At this time, I will turn it over to the dinner chairman and the Follett Methodist Church Scouting Coordinator, Logan Nick.
Well, thank you, Brian. And now it's time to say thank you to the people that made tonight possible. Our table hosts are listed on the back of the program. Earlier this evening, they all received a certificate of appreciation from the council as a token of our appreciation in their leadership for getting such a fine crowd here tonight. It, by the way, is the largest crowd we've had in 18 dinners. So we appreciate all their help. Those table hosts that were recognized are Regina Blankenship, Johnny Bruce, Chad Davis, Jim Ferris, Randy Heatherly, Andy Hickman, Eagle Scout Class of 2010, David Hickman, Eagle Scout Class of 2010, Johnny Hickman, Karen Gill, Brandon Johnson, Brentley Neely, Canute Salveson, Eagle Scout Class of 1965, John Snarley, Justin Wilson, Eagle Scout Class of 2001, and Brian Yance. Please give a round of applause for these table hosts. County Joe Rod and Donnie Poston did a pretty good job too of getting a lot of folks here tonight. I'm glad we had them stand up and give those folks some applause because they're the reason we set a record tonight. Also, our media partners made this the place to be. Please join me in a round of applause for our community partners, WLAF, the Volunteer Times, and the La Follette Press. Every Scout unit must have a charter organization. In Campbell County, the East La Follette Baptist Church and La Follette Methodist Church both sponsor Cut Pack and Scout BSA units. Thank you for your continued support. I also want to thank the Ball Farm and Billy and Jamie Ball for this fine facility that they let us use tonight. And finally, Vanessa's brought her team out here tonight. We sincerely appreciate Classy Threads and Catering for a meal. Chris Acker said, "Who's the caterer tonight?" I said, "Vanessa, who else?" So the food was fantastic. They got everybody fed in 45 minutes. Just like I asked, and I do want to recognize Vanessa and her crew for being a true friend of Scouting. Thank you, Vanessa. And then a final thank you tonight to People's Bank of the South and Eagle Scout David Reynolds. People's Bank paid for the meal tonight. Therefore, all the money we raise tonight will go towards the council in supporting Scouting, and we sincerely appreciate the bank's commitment to that. So we're here today for the Scouts, so what better idea than to hear from one? So I'm proud to introduce Troop 310 Scout, Andy Wooden. Come on up, Andy.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Andy Wooden, and I am a second class scout from Troop 310. When I think about my time in Boy Scouts, I think of the growth, late night campfires, and the process of becoming a stronger person. The Scouts promised adventure, but it has delivered so much more. At first, I joined Boy Scouts for camping and hiking. I wanted to learn how to tie knots and build fires. And yes, I did do those things. I still remember the first time I started a fire without matches. It was a big deal for me. What I did not realize back then was that scouting was not just teaching me outdoor skills. They are shaping my character. One of the lessons I learned in Scouts is responsibility, whether it was packing my gear or cooking meals for my patrol. I must be responsible. If I forgot something, I felt it. If I did not plan well, the whole group felt it. The Scouts also taught me that leadership is about serving others before myself. The Boy Scouts have a law that talks about being trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. At first, these were just words, but over time, I try to live by these words, especially the word brave, as I try to be brave in my daily as I try to be brave outdoors and in my everyday life. I've created a lot of memories with my scouting family. Some of the best memories are from campouts. There's just something about sitting around a campfire that creates connection. When we sit around a campfire, we tell stories, cook, and make jokes. It's taught me the value of teamwork and friendship. When you work together, you build bonds that last forever. The Boy Scouts also taught me resilience. Not every campout was easy. There were some storms and cold nights. And we did not quit. We adapted. We learned how to solve problems. We learned that discomfort is temporary. Scouting is teaching me that perseverance builds confidence. Looking back, I see that scouting has given me a lot. Scout gives me confidence, and with that comes everlasting friendships. Scouting along gives me guidance in my everyday life. Importantly, Scouts taught me that growth happens when things are hard. It happens when you're carrying a pack up a steep hill. The Scouts taught me that I can do things that seem impossible, and through that, I've learned that nothing is impossible. Scouting is not just a part of my life, but it's a training ground for the person I'm still becoming. Thank you for your time and have a wonderful evening.
Brian's looking for somebody to replace him. He's not going to get off that easy. Man, you did a super job. He does make the rest of our jobs easier tonight. At this time, would you please direct your attention to the screen? Have a short video. When we think of Scouting America, we think of young people learning to lead. Not because they're told to, but because they're shown how. They learn how to serve others, to be trustworthy, to take responsibility, and to stand up for what is right. Those lessons build character, and that character builds communities. Today I want to invite all of you to be a part of that mission. Your gift directly supports Scouting right here in our local area. It helps us reach more youth, create more opportunities, and ensure that no child is turned away because of cost. Every dollar you give turns into experiences that shape confidence, courage, and leadership for life. Scouting is empowered by volunteers, dedicated men and women who give their time and energy to guide the next generation. But it's your investment that gives those volunteers the tools to make a lasting difference. One of those volunteers comes to mind. Last month, Troop 310 invited me to go on a little hike with him. And it's a hike I haven't done since I was in my 40s, which was about 20 years ago. Anyway, we started in Eagle Bluff on a Saturday morning, a beautiful February Saturday morning, Saturday morning last month in February. And we went all the way to Tank Springs. And it was a diversified group. We had, people like me. We had the Scoutmaster, we had the Scouts, we had Cub Scouts, and we had a bunch of parents. And off we go on a hike that some of you have done it, but it's on the Justin B. Wilson Cumberland Trail. We're very fortunate to have here in Campbell County. And like I said, off we go. And usually I'm pretty good at time and space calculations. On this particular day, it was taking us about an hour to go 1 mile. And it was a leisurely pace. Nobody was really exerting themselves to any great extent. But we did it. We got down to Tank Springs about 1:30 in the afternoon, and I was with half the group. I was with most of the Boy Scouts. One of them was waving at me, and we worked together. And the Scoutmaster, Captain Wooten, and his son Andy that just spoke, and my son David Hickman. Well, the problem was, it wasn't a problem, but there was another group that was every bit of 2 hours behind us. Well, Johnny, she's out there somewhere. I had to go pick her up at the airport. So that was my excuse. Well, I left her, but I saw Stuart Thacker, and that's the volunteer I want to talk about today. I've known Stuart since he's 11. He's going to graduate at Lincoln Memorial University with this fancy wildlife degree here in May and go off and do even more great things. But he was with the other group. And I saw him, I left early at the airport. But I saw him right there and I said, Stuart, what happened? He said, well, I couldn't leave him behind. Stuart could have been walking in the very front, but he was in the back, and he was encouraging the young ones and some of the parents. Tell them they could do it. And that's the kind of man that Stuart Thacker is. And he would have turned out good without Scouting, but because of Scouting, I think he even turned out better. He got well over 100 merit badges. He's going to graduate from college in 4 years, which I'm sure made his parents proud. And he's come back, which is not normal, but we also had the first female scout in Campbell County. Claire Matherly's back here too, smiling at me. But she's also come back. It's unusual for college-age students to come back and help. But we got a perfect example of two of them in the room tonight that in their 20s, early 20s, they're still giving back to Scouting. And that's what makes us strong, because we are a volunteer-driven organization. They're paid professionals, but there are very few of them. And they're all out of Knoxville when they come up here. And we got 4 of them here tonight with us. Most of them are over here to my right. But when you invest in Scouting America, you're just not donating, you're believing in the future. You're helping transform the impossible into the inevitable. A generation ready to lead, serve, and make this community stronger. Your investment will result in a personal commitment to the Scouting movement. Thank you for believing in our youth, for believing in Scouting, and for believing in what we can accomplish together. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Bethany Benjamin. Bethany is a paid professional, but on Monday nights you can find her from the Fallen Methodist Church because she's the Cub Master for Pack 134. It's an excellent trip. If you have a child between the ages of 5 and 10, that's the place they need to be on Monday nights. Bethany, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Logan. Tonight you were all given a pledge card in your envelope. If you did not receive a pledge card, please raise your hand and one of our scouts or professional will bring it to you. We have respectfully penciled in an amount for you to consider this evening. And tonight we are asking for a pledge of your support for 2026. Please put the amount you would like to invest on the line, marked total contribution pledge, at the top middle of your card. Again tonight, we're only asking for a pledge of your support. We can send you reminders one time, quarterly, or monthly. And also please circle how you would like to be sent reminders. Indicate the first month that you would like to have a reminder sent to you, and then we'll break it down from there. Please check to make sure that your contact information is correct, that your name is spelled correctly, that we do have your current address, phone number, and email. Once you have completed your card, please stick it in your envelope. You do not need to seal it, and then just hold it up in the air. As you guys hold those up in the air, the scouts are going to come around the room and pick them up. Table host, you can also collect those cards all at once, and the scouts will come and pick them up. If anyone has any questions, please let us know, and one of the professional staff will come and answer those. So I'll give you guys a few minutes to do that, and then we'll have Brian Younts come back up and speak.
Kill him.
Hey, Bethany.
This one.
Oh yeah, we'll find out. Did they get it done today? They got that. I'm surprised they got it done. Cause I went in earlier this week and I was on this part of your paper. We owe him more. Did we pay him the full amount? Or did no, we didn't. We still owe him. We only paid him. That might no, it wasn't a full house. It was like we'll have to run up there.
All right, everyone.
All you have to do is say something.
The Albert K. Fretwell Outstanding Educator Award was developed by the National Council of Boy Scouts of America. Dr. Fretwell was a professor of education at Columbia University, an early thinker in the scouting movement, and the second chief scout executive of the Boy Scouts of America. The Fretwell Award is presented by local scouters to teachers, educational support staff, and school administrators who stand out from their professional peers in instilling scouting values in their students. Dr. Fretwell champions scouting programs as extracurricular learning opportunities that promoted positive values and community service. Scouting benefits from easy access to schools for recruiting and from opportunities to serve schools. The Scouts are excited tonight to honor Mr. Donnie Poston as Campbell County's 8th recipient of the Albert K. Fretwell Award for exceptional service to education. And now, Mr. Lynn Ray, who is, many of you know, is pastor at Hillcrest Baptist Church and State Farm agent extraordinaire, will highlight Mr. Poston's many accomplishments and present the award. Before I was a insurance agent, I was an educator, and I began my career in 1992 as a teacher, and later on an administrator. And Mr. Poston was very instrumental in my success, any success that I had. He was a mentor and a model for me, and I really appreciate what he did for me. Mr. Poston is a lifelong resident of Campbell County. He was married for 40. He is married, has been married for 48 years to Kathy, his wife. He has one child, Corey, 3 grandchildren, Caden, Kara, Nova Grace. He's a member of Forks Grove Baptist Church, and he's taught Sunday school there for the past 57 years. His hobbies are playing with the grandkids, music, writing, reading, and many work projects that Kathy gives him. He began his career as a teacher in 1972 and was there for 3 years at Pinecrest Elementary School. The building still stands there in Pinecrest. And after that, he was promoted to administrator at Valley View, which was where he went to elementary school, and was there until he served and was called to the elementary supervisor position for Campbell County. He was there for several years, and then served at the Christian Academy as administrator, headmaster there for several years. Came back to be superintendent of schools for a few years and did very well. And now he's back at the Christian Academy as director of schools and administrator of the Christian Academy. I served there on the board with him. I'm very thankful for his service to our community. When I was graduating from the TSBA's Director of Schools Academy many years ago, there was an old director there that was speaking to us. And he said, you know, you can go a couple of different ways here. He said you could be like a gypsy and go from community to community to community, serving those communities. They'll let you serve for about 4 years or so, and they'll get tired of you. Politics will get involved, and then you'll move on to another system. He said, or you can stay in your community, serve your community well, serve your people well, and then at the appropriate time, serve as director of schools, and do that well. And I think Mr. Poston epitomizes that. He has served his community well. He has been a mentor and a leader for many educators in our community. And Mr. Poston, I'm very proud to call you not only friend and colleague, but brother. And I think it's altogether fitting that we present this Albert K. Critwell Outstanding Educator Award at this time to Mr. Poston.
That's the worst thing in the world you can do for our educators, give them a mic and a podium. Unless you're a preacher from the South. They can outdo us. All right, class. Good evening. Good evening, teacher.
Good evening, teacher.
Something I taught every little group I've worked with all my life. We said this every morning. I see some of you nodding. You know exactly what I'm going to tell you. Repeat after me. Today is the best day of my life. And tomorrow will be even better. Didn't we learn that at Pine Crest? She was in my first grade. First of all, I want to say thanks to the scouting group. I tell you, it's just outstanding what these young boys and girls are becoming just because of the work that they're doing. Back in 1969, 70, I was still in LMU, and Principal of LMU called me and said, "Can you help us with our Boy Scouts?" I said, "I wasn't a scout." He said, "Well, would you just hold the position till we get someone?" I said, "I don't know anything about scouts." And so I agreed. I said, "I'll come down there in the evening." I said, I'll stay till you get someone. They didn't try too hard. But the first night, now my hands, this is about as straight as my fingers are going to get. The first thing I had to teach them was how to do that. I couldn't straighten my fingers out. And I said, "What is that, the pledge?" I couldn't teach them, couldn't get my fingers straight. Well, I was informed that night that they were going on a camping trip that weekend, and I would be taking them. They were going swimming. I don't swim. So, let you know, I got my scoutmaster pretty soon. But no, I make my comments brief here. I saw Dr. Ferris, and he's been my doctor. He's my doctor for many years, and so you can blame him if I'm still at this for keeping me healthy. So I'll be 76 in May. Lord has blessed me to work with kids for 54 years. And I know pretty soon the time will come to me. I have a big classroom up there. My luck, I'll be a principal. I'm looking forward to that day when we don't have a lot of the problems that we see our families and kids are having now. Fred, I'll tell you this, there's no excuse for division when it comes to our kids. There's no excuse for a lot of this stuff that's often said on the media, said on Facebook. They're our number one commodity. If we don't come together on their behalf, God forbid, another generation will be lost. One of the things I didn't agree with so much was President Obama's wife, right? President Clinton, I guess it was, said took a village to raise kids. I don't agree with that. I think it takes moms and dads. And don't get me wrong, all of us together help. And there's a lot of single parent homes. But friends, it takes moms and dads and people dedicated to help those that don't have it. And so we can work together on behalf of these kids. We just got to have that resolve. And I'm not even going in the same direction I plan to, but I encourage you. I don't care how old you are, you never get too old to help a kid. Academically, listen, you go down all the social things, physically, mentally, socially, emotionally, financially, and spiritually. You can help them in all those areas if you choose to. One thing that God has no control over is our free will. And we can choose. We just need to choose to do what's right for these kids. I've said it. Brian said, "You better introduce your beautiful wife." All right, kids, he's right down there. Glory, my grandson, Duffy, my grandkids.
To introduce his beautiful wife and just, give you the credit for everything.
Yeah, for sure. We've got some travel all the way from Nashville. be here. Appreciate that. They come from different areas. I appreciate it. It means so much. And this is a special night, and I thank you so much for even considering me. Thanks. And where's Vanessa? Vanessa, I promise you, if they'll give me another 54 more years, I want you to cook. Yeah, she's working. That's what we all need to be doing.
Thank you, Donnie and Lynn. And at this time, I have the pleasure of introducing State Senator Ken Yeager and State Representative Dennis Powers. They have presentations to make. Get no fight started over who gets to speak now.
Donnie, you're just a bit taller than I am here. There we go. We'll get it right. How's that? Thank you for letting me be here tonight and to participate. It's just good to be home with friends. And Campbell County is certainly a home to me and Melinda, who couldn't be here tonight. And so Connie and Kelly Jo, my wife Melinda, sends you her best too, and her prayers as well. She couldn't be here tonight. But thank you for letting me come. Thank you for letting me be a part of this to honor two extraordinary community leaders. And I want to thank this organization, the scouting program here, for the consistently outstanding selections that you have made to honor people. And the two here tonight are an extraordinary example of excellence. And so I'm very flattered to be here to participate in this, to honor both of you tonight. I have a resolution here. It's a House joint resolution. That means it's the resolution originated in the House and then the Senate confirmed. And the resolution is to honor and commend Kelly Jo Wright upon her receipt of the 2026 Campbell County Good Scout Award. Now, Kelly Jo, when the legislature expresses itself through resolutions, and they don't do that often. We only express ourselves on a matter of significance or importance. And this recognition of your community leadership, your integrity, and the good you have done for so many is certainly an important reason for the legislature to express itself. We've done it in the form of a resolution. Oh my, Kelly Jo, you're not surprised it's a long one. But rest assured, I'll pick and choose and read through this. And because we want everyone to hear the words of House Joint Resolution 935, a resolution to honor Kelly Jo Wright upon her receipt of the Campbell County Good Scout Award. Whereas it is fitting that the members of the General Assembly should salute those citizens who, through their extraordinary efforts, have distinguished themselves as community leaders, of whom we can all be proud. And whereas one noteworthy person is Kelly Jo Wright, who is being honored this year with the Good Scout Award for her leadership in Campbell County and her long support of scouting. Whereas she receives this prestigious award tonight at the Ball Farm Event Center. A lifelong resident of La Follette, Kelly Jo began her professional career at the age of 16, working at the Campbell County Board of Education Central Office. And over the years, she has built a diverse and accomplished career spanning sales, marketing, advertising, real estate, international student education program. Whew. And whereas Mrs. Wright is widely known as the owner and publisher of the Volunteer Times Media, which she has published since 2002 in both print and digital formats. How do you do it all? providing community news and features to a broad audience, fostering civic engagement throughout the county and beyond. And whereas her commitment to service is evident through her extensive volunteer leadership, nearly 17 years as chair of the Campbell County Christmas Parade, her role in founding and overseeing numerous community events and charitable initiatives, her longtime support of organizations benefiting children, families, local causes, including the Girl Scouts, and other youth-focused programs. And whereas Kelly Jo Wright has demonstrated a deep commitment to cultural exchange and education, having personally hosted numerous international students in her home and overseeing programs that have enabled students from around the world to attend school in Campbell County, enriching the community through diversity and service. Whereas guided by her faith, Kelly Jo Wright has long given her time and talents in support of faith-based and community ministries, including many years of service as a youth minister leader with churches in the La Follette area, reflecting her commitment to service, mentorship, and the well-being of young people. Whereas her many accomplishments aside, Ms. Wright is most grateful for the love and support she shares with her husband of 40 years, James Wright, their two daughters, Carla and Carmen, and their grandson, Foster. And through her estimable service to Campbell County, Kelly Jo Wright epitomizes the spirit of leadership, generosity, and commitment that are characteristic of a true Tennessean. So we in the legislature find it appropriate to acknowledge and applaud Ms. Wright for her dedication to her community, the state of Tennessee, the ideas of scouting, and therefore be it resolved by the House of Representatives concurring that we honor Kelly Jo Wright upon her receipt of the 2026 Campbell County Good Scout Award, and thank her, commend her upon this receipt and the service it represents to Campbell County and the state, and extend our best wishes for every future success. It is signed by the Speaker of the House, Karen Sexton, the Speaker of the Senate, Randy McNally, Representative Dennis Powers, and Senator Ken Yeager, and signed too by Governor Bill Lee. We want you to take this with our best wishes, our love, our admiration for all that you've done. And if I may, for a personal remark, one of the first times I really had a chance to sit down with Kelly Jo, and we really get, if you've been in Campbell County, you know, you've heard of Kelly Jo, but I really got to meet her one day about 2 years ago at the, not surprisingly, the Follette Church of God, where she was there doing volunteer work. And we had a great visit that day, and I just, if you don't mind my saying this, Kelly Jo, in Christian love, I love you. You are an example for everybody in this room. Thank you.
Thank you all for allowing me to be here tonight. As a former Boy Scout, Troop 435 of the Follette Methodist Church, it's always an honor to get to come forward in front of you at this Boy Scout Award and to recognize people who have really served in our community, and so it's always an honor to get to do that. I brought with me tonight a little surprise too. I have a picture of Mr. Donnie Posen in my annual. This is when I was a freshman in high school. Me and Beverly Hall and I know Lanston was in school. A lot of you went to school when Donnie was there. He was a senior when I was a freshman, but you can tell he hasn't changed a bit since 1968. So that was a long time ago, and by the way, you didn't sign my annual. I need you to do that. But it's truly an honor to know Donnie pretty much all my life. Graduated with Ronnie and Patty, his sister-in-law, so it's always an honor to get to recognize you. And the fact that my wife received this award last year, it has made it truly another special honor too, because the people that are serving our area, we always appreciate everything that you do. So we have a resolution here. This is the Albert Fretwell Outstanding Educator Award that's presented to those who work in education and follow the Boy Scouts mission to prepare young people to make ethical and moral choices over their lifetime by fulfilling with them the values of the Scout, oath, and law. And whereas a lifelong resident of Campbell County, Mr. Poston has enjoyed a 54-year career as an educator. By the way, Pinecrest, I remember going out to Pinecrest School when it was open and playing basketball, and they didn't have an inside gym, and we had to play outside. So if it was raining, we played over Diesel. But anyway, Norman Sweat, you probably worked with him, my cousin, but it was a great little school, and he's still out there today, and I think they use it as a fire hall today, but beautiful little school. Served as director of Campbell County Christian Academy after serving as director of schools for Campbell County for 4 years, elementary instructional supervisor for the Campbell County Department of Education for 8 years, and 19 years as principal of Valley View Elementary School, and 3 years as a teacher at Pinecrest. Whereas an active part in this community, and I'm not going to repeat a lot of things that Mr. Ray said, but I know you've been an active part of the community, and you've rendered your service as a member of the Foley Medical Center Advisory Board, the CASA Board, the Campbell County Commission, Campbell County Election Commission, LMU Association, alumni, and the Campbell County Relief Fund. And whereas a man of abiding faith, Donnie Poston, has been an active member of Forest Grove Baptist Church for 65 years. Unbelievable. Where he's taught Sunday school for 57 years. Whereas devoted to his family, Donnie Poston enjoys the love and support of his wife of 48 years, Kathy Heather Poston, and her child Corey, and 3 grandchildren, Caden, Kara, and Nova Grace. And whereas it be it resolved by the Tennessee House of Representatives of the 114th General Assembly of the State of Tennessee, Senate concurring, that we congratulate Donnie Poston upon receipt of the Boy Scout Albert K. Freewell Award, and thank him for his service to the students of Tennessee, and extend to him the best wishes for future success. So Donnie, it is truly my honor, and this couldn't have gone to a better, more qualified person. So thank you so much for all you've done for our community, for education, and for Campbell County as a whole. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Senator Yeager and Representative Powers. We will now hear from 5 individuals who have all been a huge part of Kelly Jo's life and service to Campbell County. Okay, batting first is Bill Bonamel. He is Program Manager for International Student Exchange in the U.S. This exchange is the largest organization for J1 exchange students in North America.
am honored to be here tonight to represent International Student Exchange in honoring Kelly Jo for all of the work she has done on behalf of high school students from around the world. Kelly Jo has personally helped countless kids come here and experience their dreams by getting to go to an American high school, live with a real American family, and experience the reality of being a teenager in America, not necessarily the nonsense they see on TV. Our mission in Student Exchange is to take strangers and turn them into families. That's an average Tuesday for Kelly Jo. It's just a part of who she is. Our scouting slogan is doing good deed daily. That's Kelly Jo. When I first met Kelly Jo about 10 years ago, I came down to do a meeting with her and her team, do a bit of a training. Now normally when I do that, we rent a hotel space, we get a meeting room, it's a formalized presentation. That's not Kelly Jo. If you know Kelly Jo, it's come on over to the house, grab a seat at the table, let's talk. And that's exactly what we did. See, Kelly Jo was a little busy that day. There was something else going on. So we did the training, we did the meeting, I got to know her people, I got to know Kelly Jo. It was personal, because that's Kelly Jo. That little thing she had going on afterwards was a little thing called Dread Woods. You've been around a while, you know what that is. Well, I came down to do some work with the team, but then Kelly Jo really put me to work. Got dressed up, put on a mask, until about 1 a.m. I was screaming at people, scaring them. To this day, and I've done hundreds of trainings, to this day it's the best training I've ever been a part of. Kelly Jo has a way of bringing people in and meeting you wherever you're at and making you feel like you belong. That's Kelly Jo. In the time I've gotten to know her, I've gotten to know that she represents what scouting is all about. I was a scout a long time ago, so it's been about 35 years since I've said these words, but a scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Nailed it. Yes. That's Kelly Jo. That's who she is. Kelly Jo embodies what scouting is about. And whether she's working in her church, whether she's working on behalf of exchange students, or just in the community in general, she embodies what scouting's true purpose is. She certainly embodies what being a member of the exchange student community is. And she enriches all of our lives on a daily basis. And I'm proud to call her my friend. So thanks for all you do.
Next up is Faye Headley and her daughter, Sherry Shope. Faye has been Kelly Jo's friend since childhood. They both attended church at Hillcrest Baptist and served on the Christian Learning Center board. Sherry and Kelly Jo co-founded the Christian Learning Center, Gala Agape, and is a dear friend. Take your time.
Mr. Donnie said he was like 76, I think you said. Well, I got a few years on him. I will be 90 next month, so. Down by my table, I apologize. But thank you for being here tonight and supporting our wonderful scouting program in our area. And I was a Girl Scout when I was a little girl, believe it or not. It's been a few years, but I still remember all the good things about our scouting. And thank you for the opportunity to speak and to give honor to Kelly Jo and to Donnie. When they asked me to say a few words about Kelly Jo, I thought, my mind started whirling around and I was thinking all these wonderful things about Kelly Jo, and how can I make that statement in such a short time? So instead I just made a list of some of the words that I think describe Kelly Jo. So if you will just bear with me, I'm going to tell you how I really feel about you. She is adventurous, affectionate, ambitious, authentic, boundless, broad-minded, cheerful, confident, courageous, curious, determined, dynamic, enthusiastic, fearless, flexible thinker, genuine, level-headed, modest, optimistic, passionate, persistent, proactive, vivacious, that's a good one, Kelly Jo, brilliant, clever, independent, intelligent, knowledgeable, logical, perceptive, quick-witted, rational, resourceful, sharp, skillful, visionary, wise, caring, charming, compassionate, considerate, and frank, friendly, generous, helpful, honest, honorable, inclusive, kind, loyal, loving, polite, sociable, supportive, sympathetic, tactful, trustworthy, understanding, electric, eloquent, expressive, funny. In fact, sometimes she's just downright hilarious. Quirky, witty, assertive, conscientious, dependable, efficient, energetic, focused, hardworking, methodical, organized, patient, practical, productive, receptive, reliable, responsible, self-confident, sensible. And I'm not just saying these words to be words. I mean every one of them, Kelly Jo. Skilled, strategic, successful, brave, happy, radiant, vibrant. And I say these to last, Kelly Jo. You are adorable, attractive, beautiful, classy, elegant, fabulous, fantastic, radiant, sleek, sophisticated, stylish, and wonderful. She is all of these to me and much more. And not only does she fit in all of these words to describe her, she's my friend. And I love you, Kelly Jo, and God bless you. Thank you. Escort.
I almost need as much help as she does, but I try to hide that back to the Lord. Scouts, thank you so much for letting me talk about one of my very favorite subjects for just a minute tonight, and of course that's Kelly Jo Wright. I left La Follette in 1972 for college and a career and family. And I imagine Kelly Jo was about 4 that year that I lectured, so I did not know her. A few years later, I did meet her older sister, Tammy, who married my good friend from childhood, David Shepard, but I still didn't know anything about Kelly Jo. And as a young mom out in Farragut, I started hearing from church members at Hillcrest and family members and community, Kelly Jo this, Kelly Jo that, Kelly Jo the other, Kelly Jo, Kelly Jo, Kelly Jo. And I was like, I have got to meet this young woman. She is everywhere doing everything. So eventually I did. And you need to know that right here I inserted a heart emoji. Okay, so the most striking thing you notice about Kelly Jo when you first meet her is how beautiful she is. And that's not just on the outside, but on the inside too. And the second thing you might notice about her, if you know her very well, is that furrowed brow that happens when she walks in on something gets in real high gear and gets it done. That's the other thing. My first opportunity, as was mentioned just briefly a second ago, to really get to know Kelly Jo was when we served on the board of the Campbell County Christian Learning Center. And our responsibility that first year was to have a fundraiser to raise a whole lot of money for something nobody had ever heard of before. That's a little tough. And that's where you see what somebody's really made of. And what I found out about her is that she is very, very, as all of you know, it has been said in other ways tonight, she's very talented, she's very resourceful. I learned that she has connections everywhere, especially all over East Tennessee. And what I learned that I appreciated most about Kelly Jo is that she has character in spades. And like I said, that's an opportunity to really find out things about people you don't want to know. I didn't find out any of those things. We had a great time doing that. We just had our 9th annual gala. She named that gala the Gala Agape, a night celebrating his highest love. And it has become kind of a trademark for us with that organization. To me, and the word epitomize has been used a number of times tonight, but that's what's in my notes. She epitomizes Luke chapter 12, verse 48, which says, to whom much is given, much is required. It is my belief that it is her great conviction that whatever God has given her in the way of talent and resources and influence, she believes it was given to her to bless others. I know I have been, and I think most of y'all have been too. Thank you. I love you.
Next up is Missy Tackett. Missy serves as the Campbell County Chamber of Commerce Director, and Kelly Jo and Missy have served as members of the Campbell County Christmas Parade Committee for over 15 years.
It is my honor to be here tonight to celebrate my dear friend Kelly Jo. When she called me to ask me about tonight, I was so honored, and she said, Missy, you're going to have like 3 minutes. And I said, how can I do that? And this has been tough to get all this wrapped up into 3 minutes, so I'm going to try my best. But tonight, as we gather to celebrate an extraordinary individual, Kelly Jo, my dear friend, with the prestigious 2026 Campbell County Good Scout Award. I was thinking so many things come to my mind as has been mentioned here tonight. But truly, I just thought of Kelly Jo's heart. She has the biggest heart, and I'm so thrilled and so honored to be in her circle. So honored for that tonight. She has brought so much unwavering dedication and heartfelt service that has made an indelible mark on our community. In our community, where everybody just about knows each other, and Kelly Jo truly stands out as a beacon of dedication and community spirit. What sets Kelly Jo apart is her heart and leadership style, which is deeply rooted in empathy and understanding. She leads by example, demonstrating what true leadership is all about. And it's not about authority or power, but serving others and giving of yourself with an open heart. See, I keep going back to the heart. Her ability to connect with people, to listen to their needs, to rally to support the causes that matter, speaks volumes about her character. Her leadership is a testament to the idea of when we lead with compassion, we create a ripple effect of positive change. She embodies the spirit of being a volunteer. For many years, she's been a guiding light, giving her time, energy, and compassion. Whether it's mentoring young leaders, or championing a community need, or leading the Campbell County Christmas Parade Committee, which I'm part of and so happy to be a part of. Kelly Jo's commitment to making a difference is unmatched. Her actions have not only enriched lives that she directly serves, but also inspired others to be a part, to want to be a part of what Kelly Jo's a part of. which I love to be a part of. Kelly Jo has always had a special place in her heart for young people. She understands that investing in youth not only shapes the future of their future, but also our future in our community. Her dedication shines through her involvement with various youth programs where she serves as a mentor and guide. In addition to her work with local youth, as has been mentioned tonight, Kelly Jo plays a pivotal role in bringing exchange students to our county. She believes in the power of cultural exchange to broaden horizons and foster understanding among diverse communities. Through your efforts, Kelly Jo, you have successfully coordinated numerous programs welcoming students from all around the world. And that has enriched our lives as a community. With visiting students, not only they enhance our community by introducing new perspectives and fostering global friendships. I see that so much. People are visiting, they're going across the world and visiting families that you bring, and so that's just so wonderful. She's been instrumental in fostering a culture of service and collaboration in Campbell County, and through her work, she has shown that when we come together with a community need, we achieve remarkable things. No description of her contributions will be complete without mentioning her involvement with the Christmas Parade Committee. And as our chair of the committee, your enthusiasm, Kelly Jo, for this annual event is contagious. We love it. She often tells us we're like a well-oiled machine, all of us. And some of us are here tonight. Robin was on our committee and still a part, even though she's taken kind of a behind the scenes now, but she is still one of us and always will be. But Kelly Jo pours her heart into ensuring that the parade is a joyous, memorable occasion, and it's not just an event. It is a celebration of the community spirit. And I've heard Kelly Jo say that so many times. It's about bringing the community together. And her dedication is seen in the smiles in the faces when we see kids enjoying the parade, and all of us older people do. We love the parade. Kelly Jo, your tireless dedication and leadership have made our community a better place. You have shown what it means to serve a heart, and I'll begin back to the heart, and I'm eternally grateful for that. So, my dear friends, congratulations on this well-deserved honor. You're truly deserving and a role model to all of us. Congratulations.
Our last speaker is Brandon Johnson. Brandon is a member of the Campbell County School Board and is the owner and operator of Eagle Tire Pros in Jacksboro. Kelly Jo says Brandon feels more like her son and has been a huge help with various events hosted by the volunteers. Brandon?
This is probably the one Kelly Jo's scared of. She only said, I feel like a son, so hopefully I won't get up in her hair and embarrass her. So I appreciate your last minute bid. One thing to note, two of Kelly Jo's employees, Patrick Peatley and John Muse, have offered to interpretive dance if anybody through the rest of the program gets too nervous to speak. So Pat, John, be on standby. Bill, it's almost like you and I had planned our speeches together. When I was thinking about what to say about Kelly Jo, it's kind of hard to put into words. I've known Kelly Jo and the rest of the family, grew up with Carmen and Carly, no foster, for my whole life. And they really are like family to me. So I thought, how in the world do you sum up someone who's been such a major part of your life in just a few minutes? And I thought, let's think about the Boy Scout values. And the first one that popped up was bravery. And I think about all the times I've seen her fight with Carmen and Carly and thought, dang, she's got to be awfully brave to go toe-to-toe with those two tough girls. I think about being reverent, and I looked up the definition of reverent, faithful in duties. And Bill, if you'll close your eyes, the maddest I've ever seen Kelly Jo ride at me was I was probably about 16 or 17 years old, and she had a foreign exchange student from Australia, who, I didn't know this, but did you guys know folks from Australia drive on the opposite side of the road? More importantly, did you know that exchange students are not supposed to drive? I didn't know that, but she was really pretty, and so I threw her my keys, and then down we go down the wrong side of the road. And we get back, very excited to tell Kelly Jo that I taught her how to drive on the right side of the road. And Kelly Jo unleashed fury Little did I know that was like one of the no rules. So Bill, I guarantee you that's not happened again. Please don't fire Kelly Jo. That was a once and done. But in all seriousness, I think about how helpful that Kelly Jo is. And anyone in this room, and I'm sure many of us have called Kelly Jo for help, and she's been there. And I'm proud to be an advertiser with the Volunteer Times, the best ad money I can spend. And a few years ago, I said, hey, Kelly Jo, we're going to have to take like a quarter off. We're going to try a new strategy. And she said, honey, if you can't afford it, I'll take care of you. I said, no, it's not that. We're just going to try to change our impact a little bit. And then we were brought back to advertising with her. I think about Kelly Jo being trustworthy. And folks, in a world where we live, where we turn on regional and national news that shapes this narrative that in so many ways hits us against one another, and the power that the media has to do that, the Volunteer Times under Kelly Jo's leadership doesn't. They post news unbiased of what's popular and what's not. They post the truth, the whole truth, and they share updates that every time we hop on Facebook, we're all watching it every single day. The amount of trust that this community has to have in that news organization under Kelly Jo's leadership is immense. And I think about kindness. The biggest example, or the most recent, I should say, of Kelly Jo's kindness was during her leadership in the last Christmas parade. And a few weeks before it, she said, Brandon, there's been something really on my heart. How would you feel about putting as many Special Olympic athletes as we can get on the float with Santa Claus? And I kind of thought to myself, well, what's the big deal? It's Santa, you know, what? Until I got there. And I saw Kelly Jo's vision. I saw a vision that Kelly Jo had through kindness, where she went above and beyond to make sure that individuals who in so many ways have been forgotten about in our community never had to feel forgotten about in that Christmas parade. And that's what Kelly Jo does. It's just not these huge, large things of kindness. It's these little instances that time and time again change people's lives. And I think about this kindness that Kelly Jo and her family, Jimmy, Carly, Carmen, Foster, have shown me. And I think back to me being a 10, 11-year-old kid, not the most popular, pretty annoying, pretty chatty, and a house that sat right up here and sits right up here that was always welcoming to me. A place where I knew I could go to the fridge and grab something out, where there was always some food there waiting, always some friends, and a place where, for a kid that didn't always feel at home, he felt at home. And that's because of Kelly Jo and the entire Wright family. So Kelly Jo, from the bottom of my heart, I love you all. Thankful for your friendship, you all being family, welcoming me constantly. And on behalf of Campbell County, congratulations, there's nobody more deserving than you.
Thank you, Bill, Sherry, Faye, Missy, Brandon. That was a terrific message and so appropriate as we honor Kelly Jo. At this time, Campbell County Mayor Jack Lynch will come to the podium and make the 2026 Good Scout Award presentation.
The Good Scout Award is given for community service, for leadership, for outstanding community service and ideals. And it has to be someone who follows the scouting ideals and those that have been explained over and over tonight. Kelly Jo does fit the category to a T. So Kelly Jo, would you come up, please? It is my privilege and my honor tonight to present the Good Scout Award to Miss Kelly Jo Wright, a well-deserving individual.
one of the benefits of menopause is you lose your eyes too, and your hair. And things just go haywire. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for coming out to this. I'm looking around the room and I'm seeing probably 25 or 30 people that deserve to be up here farming with me. You guys are the most amazing community. I'm probably 7 generations deep here at the foot of this mountain chain. My father and his father before him, and of course his father before him, and now my own children and grandchildren. And I can't imagine living anywhere else. One of my daughters is always telling me, you should move to Knoxville. Everything's so much better. You could not drag me out of here. I've already got my burial plot. I'm going down. This is where it's going to happen. And it's home. And every time I see one of your faces, it just makes me feel so warm. And just over the years, I've always just been one of those people that just drinks in somebody's, their face, because I don't just see people. I see their childhood. And I see their mamas, and I see their daddies, and some of them that have already passed on, and now I can see their children, and I just think it's special that God allowed us to be right here on earth together during this time, and we're passing through. We're going to graduate and go on home one day, but we can say that we lived right here on earth at the same time. We were chosen for just that, and I think that's wonderful, and I'm just so grateful that it's here with you guys. Okay, and that's sappy. I didn't mean to do that, but there it is. Thank God that I am healthy enough to do this and do things that I love and enjoy. That it's fun for the community and help create traditions. It's always been something I valued myself. I want to thank Logan and the committee for their momentary lapse of reasoning when they chose me for this, because again, there's so many more people in here. Congratulations to Donnie Poston as well. I want to thank Faye and Sherry and Bill, and I want to thank Missy and Brandon for the warm words, and they could have said some really, they could have said a lot more, but they were very, very nice about it. I want to personally thank Santa Claus for being here. I do believe that I get some form of immunity, like there's 9 more months left to go on the naughty list, but I think that this is a technical thing. I actually think we're all going to be safe here, so thanks for that. I do want to thank the city of La Follette for always letting me work with the parade. They've been very good to me. My parade committee, if you're in here and you're on the parade committee, stand up, please. Nancy and Missy and Holly couldn't be here. She had another meeting tonight. And there's Lindsay back there. And there's so many. And of course, it is a lot of work, and I'm so grateful for you ladies. Nancy has even helped with Dreadwoods over the years, and that was something, another one of my lapses in judgment. But we were pumping 525 people a night through that thing, and all that money went to charity. I believe one year we wrote a check to the animal shelter for over $8,000 after a few weekends there. So we just love doing that. Also, speaking of Bill Bonamo, who got up here and spoke earlier, I'm going to kind of tie a couple things together. I want to thank you as a community for welcoming my exchange students all these years. Raise your hand if you've ever met one of my exchange students. I mean, hello, there we go. See, they're great kids. But just imagine, and I forget sometimes because it is a job, and I forget that there are teenagers, there are children all over the world that just want to come to America and be an American. For 10 months, it's all they want. Can you imagine that? And we take it for granted so much. So I just appreciate each and every one of you all who take one in, who says a kind word to them, and who makes a difference in their life. Maybe taking them to a ball game, whatever it is you do. Thank you for that. Thank you. Dave and Diana Hayter are back here at the back. They posted over 20 kids for me. Y'all wave. Love them. I was really hoping Logan was going to be sitting over here like he does historically, because I hope not to go over my time limit, and he throws stink eyes sometimes when you're not being nice, and Logan scares me a little bit, and he's really close tonight. So anyway, I'm just going to pretend I'm going to be blinded right here, but I'm going to go as fast as I can. Me and Bill have been through it all over the world. We have been everywhere, but him coming out at Dreadwoods that time dressed as a goon, running them through the incinerator, we had so much fun, and he was like, this is not how I planned on spending my training, but this is a lot of fun. And one super quick story. Bill called me. We were on a trip we were in Scotland at Edinburgh, and Carmen, my youngest daughter, had gone with us. And so it was late one night, me and Jimmy were exhausted, so we go on to bed, and then Bill calls and says, and if you know my second born, you'll not even question this next story, but he goes, we were already in the bed, and I get this call, and it's like 1:30 or whatever, and Bill says, Kelly, a bunch of us, we all went out because we wanted to experience Edinburgh, and we're all in here, and your daughter has made her way to a table with 5 men, and they're playing cards. Should we be concerned? I said, yes, Bill, you should be very concerned, and you should make sure all 5 of those men make it home safely, because Carmen's about to take all their money. She made it home safely. Anyway, I don't know about the men. I honestly don't know. But anyway, but Bill was always helping out with that. For the volunteer times, Patrick and John, I see John's head. I don't see Patrick. There's Patrick. We also have Josh here in the back, and Mariana is here somewhere too as well. They have helped me so much. Josh and Patrick have been there for everything, and I promise I'm going to wrap this up quick. But when we had started the volunteer times, when it was just nothing, those 2 guys have been with me through thick and thin. And we have actually taken that thing now where we're averaging every 28 days up to 4.5 million views a month every 28 days on that little Facebook page that is built with community and blood, sweat, and tears. And we're just happy that they help do everything from the ball drop to, like I said, any community event that we do. They're always there, and I love Pat and John for it. My bestie over here, Angie, is here. She's been with me since, well, our mothers were pregnant together, and they used to bounce us on each other's laps all the way up, so Angie's always been here. And Jeremy, I'm not forgetting you either. Jeremy Young, sitting here, is a former writer for the Volunteer Times back in the day, probably one of the most talented and skilled writers naturally that there ever was, but he's seeking other things now, so we'll let him go. We'll just bless him in his new venture, but if he ever wants to come back, he's got a spot. Foster, my grandson, I love you. He's also started helping volunteer a little bit at the Christmas parade. Carly here, my oldest daughter, when she was 11 years old, she got her first sausage and biscuit thrown at her by an angry parade goer when she was 11 years old, standing out there working the parade at DeRoyal. So that was her badge of honor. She bragged about it for years. Like, well, if you didn't have sausage and biscuit thrown at you, you've not worked the parade lineup. So anyway, Carmen, my youngest, of course, would do flips through there, played, Belle over the years. We've had everybody's had a job, it seems. And my sisters, my nieces, they're all back here tonight too. So many people and families worked hard. Married to Jimmy for 40 years. He's a man of few words, but many sounds. Okay, if you know Jimmy, whenever I ask him, I said, Jimmy, we're gonna have, I got a thing, I might need some help with it. This is one of Jimmy's sounds. And then his other was, now dang it, Kelly. He never says dang it. He never says dang it. He's always like, what are you doing now? One year, I promise I'm wrapping it up. I promise it. So one year he came home. This has been 2003. The Girl Scouts asked if they could use the property up here where we live for a day camp because there were some creepers at the park or something and they wanted to use it for the day camp. I'm like, okay, fine. So, over the time, Jimmy was a long-haul truck driver, so he was gone all the time. And I'm like, it's just a Monday through Friday thing. It'll be over and done with before he gets home. It's not a big deal. And I'm like, I won't even bother worrying about it. So anyway, it was nuts. Like, they registered 106 girls that year. And I'm still thinking, okay, so he won't be home till Saturday, and Friday will be the last day. We're good. I'm still married. Like, we're good. And Patricia Sawinski and Tammy McDowell that year said, oh, no, Kelly, we forgot to tell you, Saturday is the awards night. I'm like, oh, what does that mean? And she's like, oh, all the moms and the dads and the grandmas and the grandpas and the brothers and the sisters, everybody's going to get to come. Okay, well, also Jerome comes and brings a camel and a half zebra, half donkey thing called a donkey. And then we had Langston had donated some fireworks, so they're going off in the back. And then we've got Maggie the Mayfield cow and WBIR showed up, and it was an absolute zoo. Jimmy knew nothing. He was coming home. He was wore out. He'd been driving all week. He pulls into the driveway at the foot of the hill, and a cop stops him. He says, I'm sorry, sir, you can't park here. You have to go on down the road. And they were parked plumb to Egypt. They were all the way up the highway on both sides. We didn't have nowhere else to put these people. And I remember me and Brenda Miller were shoving, this is a true story, corn on the cob. Who knew you can make 50 ears of corn on the cob in your dishwasher on a high setting? Don't put that in the refrigerator, just use the steam. We were trying to get everybody fed, and I really just wanted everybody to leave so I wouldn't get murdered when Jimmy came home. Anyway, he finally made his way to the top of the hill and convinced the cop that yes, he did indeed leave there. He probably had to leave his, I don't know, show his ID or something. And then I got the look. As soon as he saw me, I'm, oh gosh. Anyway, that poor thing, he's put up with so much. And the whole family has really, and honestly, they're just grateful that they didn't have to come and set everything up here tonight, having to break it down and having to haul it back home. They're just grateful for that. So anyway, I'm done. But before I hush officially, I do want to say this. Like my grandson, Foster, come up here a second. I'm going to embarrass you. Here, Foster. Say hi. Foster's 8 years old. He goes to Campbell Elementary. And Foster in life is going to have his own set of challenges. You know, Foster doesn't do athletics. He's not in sports. And I think about, you know, there's a lot of kids out there like Foster. And as a matter of fact, before we leave here tonight, we're going to try to find, you know, a scout troop. I think Bethany's scout troop, maybe to let him be a part of. There's a lot of single moms out there raising little boys just like this. And not every single mom can afford sometimes $1,000 or $1,500, you know, to let their kids enroll in sports. It can get expensive. But Scouts is something that teaches character, integrity. I don't have all that memorized that Bill and you all recited earlier. The good stuff, the God and country stuff that we need. And in just 15 years, the Scouts you saw up here earlier today and Foster, they're going to be the next generation right here in Campbell County. I can't count the times that somebody's asked me to buy like a poster board, you know, to go on the side of the football field or the baseball field or the soccer field, and I would put that money out there on that sign and I would hang that. And I got to thinking, would I really rather invest in that, or would I rather want to hang my sign right here in the future of the county? Put my sign with the Boy Scouts, with the future of tomorrow. No, they're not going to have your name on a t-shirt or wear a sign around their neck, but you're going to be sowing a seed that's going to give back 100-fold return. So honestly, tonight, you might have wrote your check for $100. Let's try another one. Let's feel it. It's okay to let it just hurt a little bit, because we are investing in the future here with these kids. And how many Eagle Scouts did we have earlier? We had maybe 6 or 7 in the room. We need like triple that. Triple that. We need young men that are going to learn how to be leaders and stand up for tomorrow. There's a whole generation, I fear, that may have forgotten what the pledge of God and country really is. And I think it's a wonderful organization that's so worthy of money. So even if it hurts a little bit, let's just dig a little bit deeper this time for boys like him who aren't in yet, so we can bring more, and boys that are already in there so they can continue to grow and to develop. And there's my 2 cents on it. Guys, I love you. Thank you again so much for this honor. I still think they made a mistake in this, but I'm grateful. And thank you, Brian, for being such a wonderful host tonight. And thank you, Logan, and everybody. And I'll hush. God bless you.
Folks, this has been a wonderful event. Once again, let me thank Kelly Jo for allowing us to recognize her tonight in the name of Scouting. And Donnie, we also thank you, your family, and friends for joining us today. It was an honor to recognize you for all you have done for our county. Thanks to Senator Yeager and Representative Powers for joining us tonight. For those of you who spoke on behalf of Kelly Jo, thank you for honoring her commitment to everything that is great in Campbell County. thanks to all of our table hosts, and a big scouting thank you to our professional scouters for their leadership in making this night such a success. Who's that for?
Anybody that wants?
Looks like we got some to go.
The Lord multiplies.
Some to go. Tonight, I am excited and proud to announce that we have raised. Let me tell you what we started with at the beginning of the night. We started with $24,875. After this evening, we have raised a grand total of almost $41,000. $16,000 raised tonight. And as Campbell said, if you want to hurt a little more and give a little more, dig a little deeper. Scouts BSA Troop 310 and Cub Scouts Packs 108 and 134, along with their leaders and family members present tonight, we are so proud of you. You represent all that Scouting stands for. Thank you very much. Folks, please know that Scouting America is indeed grateful for what each of you have given here tonight. These young people depend so much on us for our investments. We thank you. And with that, we are adjourned. Please drive home safely. Thank you.